Well, my friends, as Lionel Richie said, the time has come. It's the end of the second season of Here For Me, where we explored how inspiring people have navigated the detours of life, whether intentional or unintentional, planned, spontaneous, or sprung upon them. For the sake of vulnerability and being of service, we covered topics people often tread lightly upon, like therapy and its power to transform our lives, tools like tarot and journaling and tapping that open the gates to our inner selves, what it feels like to experience an awakening, the challenges and opportunities of neurodivergence, and following what feels delusional or foolish, because on some level, you know you're aligning with what's meant for you. Our guests this season shared practical insights we can apply as we navigate our own detours. Catherine Andrews talked about the puke feeling that's often a sign you're moving in the right direction. Lisa Ehrlich shared how she learned to lean on others to support her in those moments. Caroline D'Onofrio told us she barrels to stuff with her intuition in the driver's seat. Debbie Reber said she continually learns that letting go of control and relaxing into what is key to staying upright through twists and turns. And Renee Erickson activated grit and resilience to walk through the fog, eventually finding clarity and lighting the restaurant world on fire with her trademark artistry and authenticity. When you let detours lead you to what's meant for you, leaning into the curves, it makes for a smoother journey. You let go of resistance and thinking that where you're at is wrong, but it will still feel scary at times. Our world leads us to believe that finding your path in life is bliss, when in fact, it's paved with speed bumps and potholes and one-lane bridges where you have to wait for some asshole to quit fumbling around before you can move forward. Alignment brings relief and fulfillment and optimism you've maybe never experienced, but it's not the champagne-popping party we're told it will be. It's still life. It's still ripe with bullshit and delays and bleeding cash. It's filled with the highest highs and the lowest lows. One day you accomplish something you only dreamed of, and the next day you're on your couch eating mac and cheese while rabbit-holing on YouTube for clips of Roman Roy's best lines on Succession. Or maybe that's just me. Those are the moments you realize the adage was never truer. Wherever you go, there you are. I'd still choose the aligned self over the misaligned self, but making it through an epic detour doesn't mean it's all downhill from there. This is what we'll explore in Season 3 of Here For Me. We'll hear from people who prevailed, who rode a detour into the sunset, rising above hardship and difficult circumstances to achieve dreams, glory, success. People who survived those tower moments we talked about this season, when everything burned to the ground, only to rise from the ashes, to emerge from the chrysalis, rebuilt, rebooted, reborn. But first, we're going to take a little break. If you're familiar with the work of Jonathan Fields, most notably his incredible podcast, Good Life Project, you may have heard his framework called Good Life Buckets, which are vitality, connection, and contribution. The first is optimizing your state of mind and body. The second is cultivating deep, joyful relationships. And the third is how you contribute to the world through meaningful, purposeful work. I once heard Jonathan describe what happens when one bucket is close to empty. We tend to pour more into it. Like if we're running on fumes in our work, the contribution bucket, we often double down on those efforts, when instead we need to fill the other buckets, vitality and connection, investing in our mind, body, and relationships. This work, this podcast, is 100% in my contribution bucket. It fills me with purpose and joy, and it's exciting to see it grow, resonate, and have impact. And while I'm by no means running on fumes, it does take effort, a lot of it, with help from 5 smart, talented, kind people. So to make sure it stays life-giving and not life-eroding, we're going to take our own Here For Me advice and choose ourselves, filling the other buckets while it's summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, and returning refreshed, recharged, and ready to prevail. But don't worry, we won't disappear from your feed. We're going to air your favorite episodes from the first 2 seasons along with a new mini episode. I also hope you'll take time to rest, reflect, and be here for you more than ever. Firing up some love, honor, compassion, and encouragement for yourself as you fire up grills, campfires, and the spirit of summer. As always, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in Season 3. Here For Me is produced by Lens Group Media in association with Tula Productions. As is often said, it takes a village to make this podcast, and my deepest gratitude goes out to every person in that village. Our producers, Dave Nelson and Stacey Harris, our audio editor, JD Delgado, designer and illustrator, Amy Senfleben, and our production assistant, Amanda McConigal. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd follow the show, rate, review, and share it with people you love. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Nicole J. Christie. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Here's to you being here for you and to the power of choosing yourself.